I lost my faith because after finding my faith, I began to see inconsistencies with the way that the church related with the truth of the gospel. It wasn't just clear to me. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Not Fine Podcast. And today I'm going to be talking about something very controversial, something touchy, and something interesting. It is about my faith, how I lost my faith. So before I talk about how I lost my faith, I'm just going to talk about my faith, how I got to my faith, then we move from there. If you have watched the first season of the podcast, the first episode of the podcast, I spoke about my dad and how he was killed in the 2008 Just crisis. But I don't think I said that he was an evangelist. My dad was actually an evangelist and he was killed because of what he believed. And that's what made me to start to question. Because imagine you as a 10-year-old, one morning, some people just walk into your life, kill your dad, burn your house, the car, and everything you own in this life. I only had what I was wearing that day. And it was just crazy for me because, I thought that my dad was actually going to come back to rescue us, but that was the end of it. At that point in my life, I wanted to become a terrorist. I just wanted to avenge the death of my father. Like I said, I was masking my pain in all ways that I could. So I became a clown and I was bitter towards the Hausa Muslim people. It was just a thing for me. I was just going to find the person that killed my dad. I was just thinking like a normal 10-year-old at that point. But then, I went into school. Then after school, I went to Lagos. And I told you that I spent 1 year in a home. So I wasn't in school when my mates were in school. That was when I started questioning. That was when I started asking questions to try to understand why my dad would be killed for his faith. And because I also heard stories about the people trying to kill him, giving him the chance to renounce his faith so that they will spare him. I heard that they kept butchering him and telling him to renounce his faith, but he said no, and that was how he kept getting butchered. And this put questions in me. I was like, why won't he just say what they wanted him to say? Then they leave him, then he can ask for forgiveness and all of us will be good. Yeah? But I realized that it was deeper than that. So I wanted to know why he believed what he believed and if what he believed was worth it, because I had to pay for what he believed. My other 4 siblings had to pay for what he believed. My mom had to pay for what he believed. His siblings had to pay for what he believed. So was this thing that he believed worth it? That was where the question started. That was where I started, attending more church services, trying to study other religion, even though I was quite biased towards Islam, because how would you kill people because they don't believe what you believe and you expect me to just voluntarily believe that? It didn't make sense to me. So even though in my study of Christianity, I stumbled on a bit of Islam and I saw the inconsistencies. But going to school, going to university, I met someone. His name is Caleb. I call him Bro Caleb. He was one person that was willing to indulge my questions. He was one person that was willing to go back and forth with me and not feel like I was just trying to be stubborn. So he invited me for fellowship. I'll go with him. On the days that I didn't want to come, he's going to look for me and drag me there. After fellowship, he will stay with me and answer questions. So we used to talk late into the night, and he's answering Gabriel. Gabriel is giving him, he's giving me back. That was the person that I saw that actually pushed me to the wall, and I asked questions and got answers till I had no question. And that made me follow him because honestly, I began to see my dad in him. I began to see a father figure in him. And I was like, bro, I'm going with you, man. Other people in the fellowship, I mean, felt like Gabriel was being stubborn. If I was in your class during any Sunday school or any teaching, I'm going to ask you questions that you probably have not thought about and maybe almost make you lose your faith. But it wasn't really about being stubborn for me. It was about getting solid questions to the solid answers to the questions in my heart. They were itching. And the more I found answers to those questions, the more I had questions to those answers. So it was just a loop for me. I went to school of ministry. After school of ministry, if you are close enough to me, you will know that I said after school of ministry, I realized I didn't want to be in ministry because I understood what it took to be in ministry, and I felt like I was not ready to pay that price. So I said I was just going to go and hustle and do my thing because I didn't want to be responsible for people like that and not be able to do my own thing, then be in their mercy, be at their mercy. That was it for me. So I was like, oh no, I'm just going to do my thing. So from the place of seeing my dad die because of his faith, to the place of, questing for my own faith, to the place of choosing to be a Christian because I could see the consistencies in the argument of the Christian worldview. There were evidences, there were logical coherences. So I picked being a Christian by myself. But guess what? I still lost my faith. I lost my faith because after finding my faith, I began to see inconsistencies with the way that the church related with the truth of the gospel. It wasn't just clear to me because I could look into the Bible and see some things. I mean, before that, I failed a lot in school. I failed a lot in university. And I take responsibility for my failure. But at the same time, I think that a lot of things that I was taught in religion made me attribute some of the responsibilities that I was supposed to take upon myself to God. And in a nutshell, I'll just say I was irresponsible. But then I realized that when I did systematic theology and I started studying systematic theology, I realized that a lot of things were not just consistent. The whole religion was more political than true to the people. It was not, I don't know, I feel like a lot of you are going to come for me, but it is what it is, man. If the gospel is supposed to save and redeem us, it should not be the same thing that is used to exploit us. So I began to see people being exploited, abused, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and they were being covered up. It didn't just make sense to me. So when I say I lost my faith, I don't literally mean I lost my faith, but I actually lost, I don't know how I'm going to say this. But sometimes I feel ashamed to be categorized as a Christian. I feel when I'm having intellectual arguments, or these Christian worldview arguments with people that don't really believe, that cannot come out to say they don't believe, and they say that's what you guys say. I say no. I don't think I'm like them, because the current Christianity that I see is not real. It's not about embracing who you are. And that's why at some point I decided to separate not fine from faith, because I realized that we're not really embracing how we felt in hope of becoming better, but we were using spiritualism to forget how we really felt, and that did not lead to any form of growth. Even though I believe in Jesus and I believe in his teaching, I believe that those things are principles for us to follow as human beings. I mean, that's why he came to earth, to be human and show us how to live. So, not fine is actually about you as a person. I believe that a person is spirit, soul, and body. We are not spirits that have bodies and that have souls and live in bodies. We are spirits, soul, and body. And not fine is to equip us, take care of our souls, take care of our minds, understanding that we have spirit and bodies. So I believe that we walk in the spirit with our minds, not necessarily some mystic kind of stuff. I don't know if what I said is what you expected when you saw the title of this podcast, but I'm just trying to, tell us that you're a whole person, you're an individual. You should actually quest for the things you believe. If you believe in whatever you believe and you do not work towards believing in that thing, you probably do not believe in that thing. If you cannot die because of what you believe, do you believe that thing? If you don't have something you can die for, are you sure you are living? If you don't have something you can lose, are you sure you actually have something? So I'm basically asking, do you even have a faith? If you saw this podcast and you saw how I lost my faith because I had a faith. Do you even have a faith? Do you have something you live for? Do you have something you can die for? I believe that's the fundamental place of mental health, because if we do not have a weight that we carry that is a bit heavier than us, and we aim upwards towards something that is bigger than us, and we move through that journey, then you're just going to be depressed. So this is a challenge to you. Carry something that is heavier than you. Ask questions. And as the answers to those questions become less satisfying, look for the questions that are standing before you. Don't be afraid of them. Questions are like doors. As they keep opening, they open you into answers that become questions, that become answers. And that's how the world is changed. That's how ideas are formed. That's how greatness is achieved. I just want to implore you to not be afraid to quest for yourself. Don't be afraid to be not fine. It's okay to be not fine. What's not okay is remaining there. Take care of your mind, guys. See you again.